So here we have some pallet slats or pallet wood that I have chopped up. Itself, yes, you can make a plate out of this. You know, the laser cutter can cut through that now. They are strong enough. You can actually like glue them together to make one piece of like, you know, a bigger piece of wood. So obviously this is just like, you know, PVA. I didn't even bother to sand them down or make them straight or anything like that. Just, you know, play around with them and see which one give you the best seams and then clamp them together. If you don't have clamps, then, you know, you might want to invest in some cheap ones. I mean, this one, I think I got it from AliExpress. They are really, really cheap. This one is just to DIY clamps that we have. And the other reason why I cut them out to this size is that this is exactly where the nails ends. So these are where they nailed it together to a bigger piece of timber, like going down. I just like, you know, put a skill saw and just cut them all the way straight. And that's why you got this size here. And this is actually perfect for a 400 by 400 type of a laser. So this one I done this morning, so I'm not going to undo it, but we have to let the glue like dry overnight. So this one will be ready in 24 hours. Now, in contrary to many people believe, pallet wood is not actually completely free. You do have to spend time making it usable. You need to factor in transportation as well. But for me, it's like they're going to throw it away anyway, rather than let it go to landfill or let it rot somewhere else. Either they reuse it or they give it to me when I chop it up to make something useful out of it. Even if it is decoration, at least give them another life. Now, if you do clamp them together and glue them properly, they are pretty strong. I mean, if you want to like break it, yes, you can break it like this, but I mean, if you really want to strengthen it, you can always like crisscross it and then like glue them together to make a bigger piece of timber. So I'm going to use this piece of wood here. I'm going to sand it down lightly so I got a good surface, and then I got a laser engrave and then make something out of this piece of wood right here. So with a bit of a sanding, if you have a machine like this, it's perfect. I use an 80 grit, which is quite aggressive because I want to remove as much of the surface as I can. So this is how usually after weathering and chemicals and dirt, you can see loads of that stuff here. And then just give it a sanding and it becomes more like a piece of wood. I'm going to do masking tape over the whole surface here. And you will see why I do that. And by the way, if you don't have one of these, you can always hand sand them down. It just takes a lot longer. No matter what you do, there will be seams on this, especially if you haven't treated the wood like, you know, square them or anything like that. We'll see what we can do. So this is a little design I done in Lightburn. It's just a simple logo with some writing. Now there's two layers on this. One is engraving and one is a line. So this will cut out the plate, but at the same time engrave what I wanted to engrave right here. Now I have a camera, so it's quite easy for me to align it. I already done the framing, so I know exactly where it's going to do the engraving and cutting. So all I need to do now is just press the button and it will start. Now this is one of the reasons why I'm always watching it like a hawk. You see that horizontal line? Basically that's supposed to be a box. But because I forgot to change that to a line, and on Lightburn it's a fill, so effectively what it was trying to do, it was trying to engrave the whole area and fill in the whole box. So that means that the whole box is going to be engraved a bit deeper into the wood, and then they could engrave on top of that these writings here. That's not what I want to do. I want this box to be just a line, outline. So I quickly stopped it because it kind of like engraved a few times. I quickly stopped it and come back and change it back to line. Delete the rest so it starts from the drop again. If I haven't been watching it, then it will be like a disaster. This whole box is going to be engraved deeply, and then it will be engraved this on top of the box. It might not be salvageable back if I leave it like that, but so far it's okay. You always need to test the material and see how your laser is doing with that particular piece of material. And so far I do like the deep engraving because I'm going to spray, well, spoiler alert, I'm going to color them in. So the engraving part is nearly done. It took about 45 minutes. It's quite a lot of area to cover, but it is going really fast. In terms of setting, this is an A30 Pro or A30 Atomstack. and the engraving is at 5,000 millimeter per minute at 60% power. Looks really good. So after this, then I'm going to start the cutting process. And for cutting the parameter, I'm going to go with 400 millimeter per minute and 90% power. So this is the cutting process. Now I can run this through my bandsaw right here. Will probably be a lot faster as well. But to be honest, if you have a laser cutter which cuts straight, it will be a lot better than me trying to use my tool. Besides, I want to show you guys what this one can do. The air assist come with the machine is actually quite good compared to like your pond air pumpers and things like that. And you can see that it generates plenty of smoke compared to engraving just now, because this one literally burning through the wood. So just as I predicted, after 4 pass you start to see smoke coming out from the bottom of the board. And you can see some laser light creeping through the bottom of the board. Now it might be quite hard to see because I got an enclosure, but you can see the smoke is actually coming from underneath the wood. Maybe I should have set it at 6 passes because I didn't think that it would be that difficult to cut. With this machine usually cuts through quite quickly. But every piece of wood is different, so let's see what happens. And in terms of time wise, it is now 7 minutes, so about 8 minutes to do the 5 passes. It just completed the project. I give it a few more seconds for the smoke to disperse. I do have a strong extractor fan there, but sometimes it takes a few seconds to clear all the smoke on the inside. Not too bad, not too bad. So, moment of truth. Did it cut through? Is it going to come off the wood? Of course not. It's still in one piece. Oh no, that one is bouncy, so let's have a look. Wow, loads of burn mark there, so he's burning off something. A little bit of bits and places that is not being cut through. So now we need to work on that. So either I use a bandsaw to finish it, or I use some hand tools to get it out. Bit of a hammer and persuasion, and this come off like that. Now for a lot of people, we will be happy with just peeling off the stickers and without doing anything else, but obviously a bit of cleaning up because they do have a lot of black kind of shoots on the edges here, so you might want to sand them down a little bit. But overall, I think it looks quite good already. Now I don't know if it is right or wrong. I did some spray to give my letters a bit more black because the wood is quite light in color. I thought a bit of contrast will be good. The good thing about masking tape is that it will really helps to keep the surface clean. I really should have waited until the spray is dry, but I was a bit impatient. There's way too much detail in this one. It's like 1 milliliter. 1 millimeter. I do think the pale wood looks a bit vanilla, so I might be doing something about that. But overall, from those planks of wood into something that you can hang up and make yourself feel happy. So now I can show you my final product here. So this is my little plate to celebrate my 5,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for all your support. It just goes to show that, you know, you don't really need to buy new material, especially when you're just starting out to learn about laser engraving. And the machine nowadays, like, you know, the A20 Pro is so powerful that it can cut through thick material like this one here. So this is oak. This is about 15 mil. Not about, this is like 15 mil wood. So this is timber or pallet that people are going to throw away anyway. So, you know, I just look on Facebook Marketplace and see anyone throwing them away, and they say, well, free, come and collect it. So I drove there with my wife's car, picked them up, come back, cut them off, you know, a bit of sanding. If you have tools, then yes, it make it easy. If not, then you have to put a bit of elbow grease in it, sand it down, and glue them up. So PVA glue, wood glue, masking tape. They are relatively cheap. You can get the wider one from this, and you're easier to remove. You see, I even chipped out on the stand. It's just some tape and screw to make sure that they stay in place. And yeah, there's fun little projects that you can do with your laser. You need to do your material test to see what's the best for your piece of material. And in terms of cutting, it was 5 passes at, I think, 500 millimeter per minute. I could do with 1 more pass, then it will come clean off, because I do have to chisel some of the glue part where it was more difficult to cut. But nevertheless, this is the result. Thank you very much for watching. Can't wait to see you next time with more interesting gadget. Bye bye.